Hello, this is VNA Broadcast Daily. I'm following today's headlines.
Leaders pay tribute to fallen soldiers on the occasion of the 65th War Invalids and Martyrs Day. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng receives Indonesian Foreign Minister. Ancient Chinese map proves Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos.
Leaders of the party, State National Assembly, Government and Fatherland Front laid wreaths and offered incense in commemoration of heroes and fallen combatants at their monument in Hanoi on July 26th on the occasion of the 65th War Invalids and Martyrs Day.
The leaders included Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng, National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng, former Party General Secretaries Lê Khả Phiêu and Nông Đức Mạnh, and former National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Văn An. They also paid tribute to President Ho Chi Minh at his mausoleum.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng met Indonesian Foreign Minister Marty Natalegawa in Hanoi on July 25th. The top Indonesian diplomat is in Vietnam to chair the first meeting of the Vietnam-Indonesia Committee for Bilateral Cooperation.
Prime Minister Dũng said he is pleased at recent strong developments in the multifaceted cooperation between the two countries, especially in economics, trade and investment, with two-way trade reaching over $4.6 billion in 2011 and $2.1 billion in the first half of this year. Dũng suggested the two countries continue to boost the implementation of cooperation agreements and programs agreed by their high-ranking leaders in order to raise the bilateral ties to a new level. Vietnam and Indonesia should closely cooperate in addressing the region's common issues, including the East Sea issue. He added that the two nations needed to step up cooperation in diplomacy, security, defence and joint patrols at sea. Vietnam will help Indonesia ensure food security, affirmed the government leader. Marty Natalegawa stressed that Indonesia always attaches importance to developing cooperation with Vietnam and will do its utmost to foster bilateral ties in all aspects. He affirmed that Indonesia will continue to closely coordinate with other ASEAN countries in building a more prosperous ASEAN community, as well as in dealing with regional and international issues, including the East Sea issue. The same day, Foreign Minister Marty Natalegawa and his Vietnamese counterpart Pham Binh Minh co-chaired the first meeting of the Vietnam-Indonesia Committee for Bilateral Cooperation. The two sides reviewed the implementation of the action programme, especially in politics, security, defence, economics, trade and investment. They agreed to suggest the two governments speed up discussions on an agreement on regulations for joint patrols in contiguous waters and establish a communication channel between the two navies. They also said the two countries should strengthen trade and investment promotion activities in an effort to reach the target of $5 billion in two-way trade ahead of 2015. The two sides also reached a consensus on furthering cooperation in maritime issues, fisheries, agriculture, food security and judicial matters. They emphasised the need to pay more attention to enhancing cooperation in education and training, culture, sports and tourism. They also debated regional issues of common concern, including the East Sea issue, stressing the maintenance of peace, stability, maritime security and safety in the East Sea.
On July 25th, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng also received a delegation of international auditors and the Vice President for East Asia and Pacific region of the World Bank, Pamela Kos.
At his meeting with the delegation of international auditors, led by Joseph Moser, Secretary General of the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions, Dũng said Vietnam attaches importance to audit work as it helps the National Assembly and the government better manage financial resources and prevent corruption. He affirmed support for the independent performance of the State Audit of Vietnam, expressing wish that the organization will closely coordinate with the State Audit in experience sharing, human resource training, and institutional profession. Joseph Moser is in Vietnam to attend a seminar on the legal position of the state audit and Auditor General in the Constitution of Vietnam. He affirmed that the organization will coordinate with and assist Vietnam in policy consultation and human resource training. In his meeting with Pamela Cox, Vice President for East Asia and Pacific region of the World Bank, Dũng asked the bank to continue providing preferential loans to Vietnam. He has pledged to take drastic measures to accelerate the disbursement of World Bank funding and increase the efficiency of the use of capital. He said, despite achievements over the past time, Vietnam has yet to achieve sustainable economic growth, while poverty still remains a problem. Therefore, the country continues to need assistance in terms of both advice and capital to sustain its development and avoid the middle-income trap. Cox spoke highly of Vietnam's socio-economic achievements, particularly the government's policy to curb inflation and stabilize macroeconomy. She affirmed that the World Bank will always go side by side with Vietnam in the process of development, adding that she found Vietnam has used World Bank loans effectively.
An old map published by China in 1904 under the Qing dynasty provides more evidence against China's territorial claim of Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos.
The map is the property of Dr. Mai Hom, who used to work for the Hang Nom Institute. He presented it to Vietnam National Museum of History on July 25th. The map, measuring 115 centimetres long and 140 centimetres wide, depicts Hainan Island as the southernmost point in China's territory, and there was no mention on whatsoever of Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos. Hom said he hopes the map will serve as a basis for Vietnamese scholars in their study on sovereignty over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos, as well as on the East Sea.
The Japanese government will provide Vietnam with an aid of 343 million Japanese yen to have the country develop its human resources in 2012 to 2013 period.
The project was signed in Hanoi on July 25th by Vietnamese Minister of Education and Training Pham Vu Loan and Charge d'Affaires of the Japanese Embassy in Vietnam, Hideo Suzuki. The project will provide scholarships for Vietnamese students to study in Japan in law, public policy, business administration, economics, industry, IT and international relations. Speaking at the ceremony, Loan said the Vietnamese government highly valued the cooperation and human resource training between the two countries, adding that the signing showed the increasing cooperation in the field between the two countries. Since 2000, as many as 333 Vietnamese students have benefited from those projects to study in Japan.
The 12th meeting of the ASEAN Working Group on Water Resources Management opened in Hạ Long City in the northern coastal province of Quảng Ninh on July 25th.
The three-day meeting will focus on reviewing ASEAN cooperation in water resources management over the recent time and mapping out directions for its activities in the time to come. At the event, ASEAN delegates will focus their discussions on designing a management system of water data, assessing risks and impacts from extreme climatic phenomena in ASEAN countries, and raising public awareness of and the community participations in water resources management. They will also touch upon the region's water-related events, including the 2012 Singapore International Water Week, 2012 Clean Environment Summit Singapore, and the second Asia-Pacific Water Summit. In 2005, ASEAN approved its strategic plan of actions on water resources management.
And that comes to the end of the news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.